Hi, it's me, Wyatt, the boy,
And me, Clem, the lobster.
and you're listening to The Lobster and His Boy, in which we're rereading the Chronicles of Narnia in publication order. This week, we're on to our second book episode, Prince Caspian. This is also, I have here, it's called Prince Caspian, The Return to Narnia.
Ooh.
In the original release, potentially. It was released in 1951, 1 year after the previous book, but it was completed after Christmas of 1949. And The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe was completed at the end of March of 1949. So by the end of that same year, he had written the first two books.
Damn. Couldn't get it out by Christmas, though. That's a shame.
Impressive that he was able to finish this book in 3 months, or maybe had been writing it at the same time as the last one, but it does kind of show.
I was going to say, at what point in the podcast are we going to mention that CSL may not be the greatest writer of all time, but he is great at creating worlds. So I'm not surprised that he wrote this book. There's a lot of...
Yeah, but it is just the next story.
Yeah.
So it's kind of easy to roll into that, or maybe that was initially, well, I guess no way that was part of the original story, because it's back to Narnia. He's not going to do 2 times in one go.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe he already had the idea of how
Yeah,
they go back.
I think that's, he's like, oh, and then they go back, and it's going to be
Yeah.
way later. Like, that's fun. But,
Yeah, now they're in their late 70s.
oh my gosh.
Oh, boy.
Just decrepit, crawling around. Oh, I used to be the High King of this place. All right, Grandpa. We'll start with Chapter 1. The Island.
I mean, honestly, in terms of budget, at least, it's starting off in a familiar place, which is a train station. We're used to seeing the kids here.
And it's just right in the train station, too. Like, there's no preamble, I guess, is well, I guess there is. He brings up the last book and even says that the story was told in a book, which I really like. It's definitely breaking that fourth wall, but it almost puts the book within the same world as the children. Like, let me see exactly how it's worded.
Pause for book findings. Look in the book and find the things that you want to read with your finger or whatever.
Okay, here it is. Once there were 4 children whose names were Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy. And it has been told in another book called The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Another book, so he's acknowledging this book.
Shameless plug.
In a different world from Mars. At any rate, no one noticed they had ever been away. That all happened a year ago, and now they're sitting here. I don't know, maybe not exactly, but when I had read it, it reminded me of the Spiderwick Chronicles, which was another series that I grew up reading. The book series that you read exists within the universe because they do a second series, Return to, or The New Adventures of, or whatever, and those characters have read the same books that you've read. Oh, you might be able to hear some yard work in the background. Sorry, it's nice summer breeze going through the window.
It's mid-spring at best.
No, I know.
Wait, so is that like the equivalent of when a celebrity plays themselves on a TV show that's set in the real world?
I think so,
Okay.
yeah. Because the characters of the new series end up meeting the characters of the old series. And it's like they wrote the story about their lives, but they had to change their names. But they are real, and it did really happen. But they have to say that it didn't happen because...
Sounds lazy.
It was weird, but it was really cool as a kid. And this kind of reminded me of that when he says that it's a book.
It was all a dream.
Yeah, it's kind of giving... It was all a dream. But yeah, we flash forward 1 year later to the train station.
So a normal year has passed.
Yes. A London year.
1 metric normal London year. 1 normal metric London year has passed. And, they're all together, a little bit happier than they were last time, hopefully, and they're about to go their separate ways for school, which means Pete and Ed, Sue and Lou, they get, blue train, pink train, and then there's a hole in the ground for everybody in between.
It's Lucy's first time. She's never gone to boarding school, so she must be like, well, she was 8 before, so she's 9 now, and that's because she might turn 10 within the year, and that.
I feel like an 8-year-old would go to boarding school back in those times.
That's kind of what I was thinking. It's weird that it's her first time.
But yeah, instead of the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, where we get a bit of time with them, finding the wardrobe, they literally just get magically sucked out of the world, and they're just kind of like, they get like a weird feeling like they're being pulled.
Yeah, like a little pinch.
Yeah.
Because I think Ed. Oh no, I have here Lucy's the first to feel the magic.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, and then they're on a beach, which they're in a thicket somewhere by the sea, somewhere that I'm assuming we haven't been before.
Oh, totally.
Her sneeze.
It's really cute.
Kitty sneeze.
I do want to go back just a little bit, just because it made me like when they talk about the end of the holidays and going back to school. Oh, more sneezy. Oh, the windows are open and it's springtime and the little kitty cat is sneezing. When they talk about the end of school and they talk about the gloom, it just made me think of Lucy's happiest feeling when she heard Aslan's name of the beginning of summer holidays, and like she's a little kid and her best feeling is summer holidays, and now here she is going to her first year at boarding school and the holidays are over. Like it is she's growing up, but like she's only 9 or whatever. She's still definitely a child.
I think what you're saying is very important also. I feel like the overriding theme of maybe the entirety of this series, but definitely this book, is that Lucy is not listened to.
Yes, this book is 100%.
Much more so than the last book, because in the last book it's like, I think that because nobody really knew what was going on and it was all new experience, that I don't know, it didn't seem like she was. Yeah, sorry, am I on the mic enough?
They just look a little small.
I can bring it closer. I think, just, I don't know, there's this whole essence of returning to Narnia and remembering things, and it seems like Lucy is ignored constantly throughout the story. So let's actually, you know what, let's go ahead now and start a counter for the number of times that Lucy is, what do we think? Lucy is not necessarily ignored, but like, that's the pen. Lucy is,
I don't know,
told she's
gaslit?
wrong. Yeah, Lucy is
gaslight Lucy.
This is the
gaslight Lucy.
This is the gaslight Lucy count.
Cause yeah, just to jump far ahead, just for like 1 second, no context. When Susan goes, "Oh, what do you think you saw?" Lucy's like, "No, I just told you I saw it. I don't think I saw it." Like.
And for those of you who are listening, if you want to go back and get the gaslit Lucy count for Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, go for it. I will be getting that later for those who are interested.
No, we
anyway,
need that number.
Trudging forward. Yes. On the island, in a thicket, somewhere by the sea. And they literally got transported to Narnia randomly. But I remember asking her, like, can you go to Narnia at any point? Because if you've been there before, like, can you just get called to Narnia if you've never been there before? Which is a question that I don't necessarily think can be answered yet.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, technically, weren't they called the first time? Lucy, especially in the movie, Lucy was definitely called to the wardrobe. It did feel very fateful. They even, in the book, that said, was Miss McCready chasing them, or was it Narnia pulling them in when they were running through the house?
Well, this Narnia is...
This is pulling them in.
It's pulling them in.
Pulling them in, and it's different.
Yeah, but it's not party time like it was when they left. It's like not spooky snow when they first got there, but it's just like...
It's still quiet. It's weird. They mention that there's not very many bird song. There's not a lot of bird song, which I made note of.
There's no trees. There's just grass and daisies and ivy and gray walls.
And
it's quiet.
Except for the occasional seagull, because they're on the beach. They think that maybe it's an island, and so they...
No seagull is an island.
Yeah, no. They start walking. They find a stream, at least, because they get some fresh water.
Lucy spots the fresh water stream.
And Susan, of course, it brings up that they don't have any food.
Which,
I mean, always thinking it's a good thing to bring up, like right off the get-go. Like, sure, yes, this is so fun that we get to play hooky from going to school to go to Narnia instead. But we don't really have food.
where are they gonna get food right there? I
Well,
mean,
it does. It like the boys do have some sandos in their pocket.
That's but just like in terms of like where they would be going to. Like this
Yeah,
is a question
like you
for
were gonna
Susan.
go on the train for a long time and not
Yeah.
have any food.
Or just like in terms of like, you know, if they were to stay where they are to look for food versus going forward to look for food, like what would the difference be,
Yeah.
Susan?
Yeah, you're just bringing up the obvious that you don't have food.
Yeah, there's another one. Times Susan is Captain Obvious.
Oh my gosh. Logically. Well, yeah, they think they're on an island.
So that's one for Susan.
One for Susan and one for Gaslight Lucy. And they do debate on eating the sandwiches now or later. I definitely kind of agree with Lucy. At least I did as I was reading along, and then I was convinced by Susan. But Lucy says, like, well, we're not thirsty anymore. Like, I could be hungry for a little longer because I'm not thirsty anymore. But Susan's like, well, these sandwiches have been sitting in their pocket for hours. Or maybe one of the boys says it. And they're like, we should probably eat them before they go bad.
Yeah,
and I was
don't
like,
let
well,
meat sit in your pockets for too long.
yeah, you definitely don't want to let meat sit in your pockets for too long, kids.
It's you forget things in Narnia.
And they almost lose their tempers. Like, they're a
hangry group of kids.
Yeah, they are pretty hangry. And it's hot
and Peter's like pubescent because he's 14 now.
Yeah, Peter?
Sorry.
He was...
What did I say?
No, I think you're right. I think he's 14. He was 13,
Yeah.
12, 10, and...
So they're both going through puberty.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Woof.
yeah.
Woof.
Do they have tampons in Narnia?
Definitely not. But it makes sense that they're so... I mean, even if they weren't going through puberty, like, nobody welcomed them to Narnia this time. There's no, like, quest that's right there. You know, Lucy found Tumnus last time and then came back, and then there was plot from right away. Even, you know,
that's true.
For them, there was plot. There was something happening. And so now they're just, like, stranded in the woods. That's kind of stressful.
Stranded in the woods.
And like Susan said, they don't have any food, or at least not enough food for 4 teens who just probably were playing around for the first hour that they were there because they were excited to be in Narnia.
Well, yeah, and it's warm and summertime, and Lucy wants to go shrimping, but they don't have a net, so, you know. And then, yeah, Edmund's like, oh, let's get seagull eggs. But, you know, how are they going to cook them?
I've never seen a seagull nest. I don't know. Do they nest in the cliffs? Do they nest in the
I've also
sands?
never seen a seagull nest. Call in, live tweet us if you know how seagulls nest. Maybe it's like pigeons. Maybe they're spies.
They're not real.
Spies of the sea.
But they're walking, they're wandering, looking for food, and they find an apple tree. Apple tree, yellow gold apples on the apple tree. And then there's, you know, a whole bunch of apple trees, a whole orchard. Mm-hmm. It's not just one, which I feel like you would probably see more than just the one tree.
Yeah.
When you come across it at first.
Yeah, there's like the yellowy, nice apple, the golden apples.
Across the corner.
Which for me, that's a preferred apple. I'm not looking for green, I'm not looking for red. I want that nice golden
nice golden from a tree. I think I would agree. I think in general, I do kind of like a more pinky red apple.
Mm-hmm. Not like I don't want a Macintosh.
No.
Does who is eating those?
That makes me think of school lunch. Yeah, 100%. Then you get that hard, starchy Macintosh apple. After they discover the orchard, they wander in, and that brings us to chapter 2, which is the ancient treasure house. And they enter through this orchard the ruins of a castle. Ruins of a castle in Narnia. Oh my god, I want to explore. I would be all over the place. They don't really like run around exploring. They're pretty slow, pretty chill. Lucy feels queer again. We should put a counter for how many times Lucy feels fucking queer.
It's the queer counter.
The queer. Can we just have a queer counter for at a time
It
anybody?
happens
Because
a lot.
I think someone else feels queer in this book too.
Well, and it's the queerest thing that has happened this queer
On the
day.
queer
So that's
day.
3 right there.
Yeah. Peter's aboard the queer feeling on the queer. Peter says, "This is the queerest thing I ever had on this queer day, full of queers."
Fucking smurfing queers.
And they were just walking along, exploring. They walk into this, what Peter calls, a great hall. He's like, this is where great kings sat, just like we used to. Like, this is just like where we used to do it. And they start talking about, oh, remember that time and when we were the kings. Lucy wants to play pretend.
Mm-hmm.
So cute. She's like, let's play Narnia. Like, girl, you're in Narnia.
Right? Oh, yeah. After Peter spends forever explaining why, he's like, oh, we're at Cair Paraval.
Yeah, it takes a while for them. Peter's like, let's use our brains. He literally says,
But
let's
Lucy
use
believes
our
him
brains.
immediately.
Yes,
Immediately.
She's like, you're right. Well, this also comes after Susan comes back from the well, and she has a chess piece that looks exactly like the one exactly like the one Lucy used to play with back when she was queen. So, like,
Right.
she sees her own chess piece in Susan's hand, and then Peter's like, this is our castle, and
Yeah.
of course she believes him. But Edmund is the last to agree. He's the one who doesn't believe Peter, which makes sense.
Someone's got to be the horse's ass.
Oh, totally. But, I mean, he brings it all up. He's like, this is the shape of the hall, the location of the well from that hall. He remembers the chief mole's name. Her name was Lily Gloves. And when they planted the orchard, she had told them, one day you're going to be thankful for these apple trees. And they sure are fucking thankful because they are hangry. And they eat these apples well into the book.
Yeah, these apples
last
are
them.
a staple of Narnia.
Yes, these apples last them a very long time. But Edmund, he's like, it's only been a year. And I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Like,
why else would you
magic.
why else would you be here? But then they're like, okay, well, let's explore because, what else are they going to do? And then they find the treasure of Cair Paraval, which is like their treasure from when they were kings and queens. And I actually wrote down all the things that are in there. Did you?
I didn't. I have a little thing that says that you could write down, or you could read out the list if you wanted. But
Because you knew that I wrote it.
yeah.
I love a list. Come on down to the treasure of Cair Paraval from the kings and queens of the past. We got suits of armor, necklaces, arm rings, finger rings, golden bowls, dishes, long tusks of ivory, brooches and cornets, chains of gold, and heaps of unset stones lying piled anyhow. Anyhow? Sure, as they were marbles or potato diamonds, rubies, carbuncles, emeralds, topazes, and amethysts.
What's a potato diamond?
I don't know I was like cornets? Cornets?
Garnets, probably?
No, it's Cornets.
Cornets.
Yeah.
It's like a castanet. They're fancy castanets.
But in my head, a potato diamond is just a big ass diamond.
A big ass diamond. Yeah, that's kind of what I pictured. Like, just a big, hunky, because it said uncut gems. Uncut
gems. And they also find their coronation rings.
Their coronation rings. Their Santa gifts. And they just like, what did they say? Yeah, it's so fucking harsh to Edmund. They're like, and Edmund didn't get a gift. That was his own fault. And you can read about it in the other book. Oh my god. He was like, I know we gave him a lot of shit too, but like, he was 9, 10. And they're like, and he didn't get a Santa gift because he was too busy being a little fucking bitch.
Yeah, you wrote him that way.
Yeah, this was your fault, CS.
Like, excuse me, but also...
I was always surprised he didn't get one, or they didn't give him, what about Christmases afterward? Santa didn't come back next year and say, oh, you've been really good this year. You almost killed the White Witch. you took out her wand. Like, I'm gonna give you a Christmas gift.
It's a
this year.
participation medal. Almost killed the White Witch.
Yeah, at least he didn't even have that.
Yeah, well, I mean, he does have other stuff from his time, like his weapons and shit.
Yes, but
not...
this is my public apology to Edmund. I'm sorry for giving you so much shit. Like, that, what your creator gave you was so much worse than anything I could give you, and so I now renounce my Edmund hatred.
I feel like a lot of our creators gave us things that were unfair that we had
Correct.
to deal with. But also, he was bad boy. He get no Christmas gift. This is from that Christmas. So, but, you know, Lucy's bottle only has half of its contents, which is okay. Yeah.
It only needs one drop. And it is diamond. I thought that they said in the first book, I didn't look it up, but I thought that they had said that people started telling myths that it was diamond. But I don't know. Maybe that's just what I thought. But it is diamond, I guess, for no reason.
Maybe it turned into diamond.
Maybe she had a new cordial. I don't know. It makes sense that it's diamond too, though, so it would never break in battle. Like if she dropped it or something, like it does that. That makes sense, but
that's fair.
Whatever. But their brains are changing.
That's true.
Because Susan calls England like their home. She calls it that other place already. They've been here like 4 hours and like it's already turning their brains back.
But 4 hours, so it's been like, you know, weeks.
Weeks in their own time.
But not actually.
Yeah. Like if
maybe it's like their cells like generate. Oh, there's just cell. Maybe it's like they come to Narnia and they turn into Robin Williams from Jack.
Kind of. I feel like that is because they're constantly talking about they felt more adult. Like Peter looks more manly. Like he's the face of a man.
The face of a man.
I didn't know the sword had a name. I don't know if they named it in the last book. I felt like we would have brought it up.
Right,
it's named Rindon, which
sounds like a Pokemon.
It does. Which is Rhyhorn, I think is the Pokemon. The steel one with the kind of looks like a dinosaur.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of horns, Susan's horn is missing.
Susan's horn is missing because she remembers she had it on her when they went after the white stag, and so it's probably lost in the woods somewhere.
And did Peter not have his sword on him?
Well, probably not, because this sword is fit for a child. This sword is small.
Fit for a child.
Because it said that it suited him perfectly, and so when he was 13, it was the perfect sword and shield for him, and then he grew out of it. But now he's back, and he's only 14, and it fits him again, which is so sweet.
That is cute.
But yeah, the sword's name is Rindon, and that's my last note of the chapter.
Yeah, because then they fall asleep.
Oh, there we go. They fall asleep.
Yeah.
And they wake up the next chapter.
Which is chapter 3. The dwarf. So I put that CSL might not be an incredible writer, but he definitely understands why sleeping outside sucks and that apples are not a sufficient meal.
Oh, totally. And raw apples. Because they tried cooking them, but then they get mushy, and then you can't eat them when they're hot because they're too hot, and then you're eating cold, mushy apple, which is so much worse than raw. Like,
yeah.
So they just eat apples again.
Yeah. But then they're like, okay, well, this blows, so let's get off the island. And then they're like trying to decide if they can swim between two bodies of land in the water.
Probably 20, 40 feet.
Yeah, which like I'm always that person where I'm like, sure, I can do that, and then you start swimming and remember that.
Well, it's the mouth of like the ocean is right there. Yeah. So I feel like the river is pushing out.
Sharks
or like
in the water.
There's shit. It reminds me, at least in my head, it reminds me of that spot that you told me about in Australia when you crossed. Like that's what I picture is that spot, even though I've never been there. Like you painted the picture so well that it's now a place in my head that I can conjure when reading books.
Oh my god, that place was so beautiful. And honestly, as someone who's never been to Hawaii, I'm not pushing for it. I'd rather let the native Hawaiians have their land. But that tropical water was the only, that's kind of what I pictured this looks like, where it's just like blue and sparkling, but where they are, because of it's that beautiful tropical water, but they do have that spooky woods energy. And then like the kids, while they're discussing whether or not they can swim for it, they see these two people in a boat with
a bundle.
Yeah, a bundle that's like all corded together, and they realize that it's a person. and the people are talking about tying stones to it and throwing it in the water, which of course is not cool with any of them. Least of all Susan, who, without saying anything, shoots an arrow at the guy.
I don't even think she thinks.
No.
I think that this is her Narnia brain, and it just like, she's like,
Bam.
that shit is not happening in my fucking country.
Yeah.
Like,
and
ever, anywhere.
I think she doesn't hit him.
She hits his helmet.
Right, and spooks him, and he falls in the water.
Knocks in the water. And the other guy freaks out and, like, jumps off the boat.
Yeah,
and it's
buggers
really
off, like,
comedic.
Brave so Robin ran away.
Yeah, even though they're about to just toss this being in the water and then drown him. Like, it's super intense, but then it's so funny.
Because they're cowards. Because they're not like soldiers, or they don't look like they belong to, like,
they're probably more guards, or
they're like militia kind of.
Yes, and we do find out very shortly after they save this person, who turns out to be a redheaded dwarf about 3 foot tall. And he keeps talking about them being ghosts, because apparently these woods are very haunted.
And so he ain't afraid of no ghost.
No, he ain't afraid of no ghosts. These soldiers thought that they were ghosts that were physically attacking them.
Yeah.
I would be scared shitless if I saw something I thought was a ghost and it shot an arrow at me that I felt. No, I'm out. I'm way out.
I ordered that lift 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I'm gone. I don't exist anymore.
Nope.
Don't worry about me.
I'm a ghost.
I'm also a ghost.
But, like, yeah, I guess he realizes, he's not really sure, but he's like, well, I'm not scared of ghosts, and I don't mind apples for breakfast. But through a quick conversation, he's like, okay, well, let's, if you row this boat, I can steer it, and we can go fishing. And he catches pavenders.
It's like a rainbow fish that they remember from their time in Narnia.
I didn't look up if it was real fish or not.
I didn't look it up either, to be honest. It was like one of the animals I didn't look up.
If you don't have to, but
I can look it up.
My favorite part is, like, they don't have any way to carry the fish, but Ed is wearing a hat, so they put the fish in Edmund's hat, so there's something truly, like, simply beautifully comedic about a hat full of fish. And I don't know if that's like my Monty Python upbringing or what, but just like, I don't know. Yeah, a hat full of fish. Vaudevillian slapstick. I love it. Not a real fish.
Not a real fish.
Not a real fish. She is not a real fish.
Lived in the oceans of Narnia. They ate pavenders for breakfast. It's also a regular breakfast item for centaurs, according to...
According to internet.
According to, Orans the fawn, who we probably meet in a later book or something. I don't know.
Maybe, but...
We'll find out.
Yeah. And so, they make a fire, and
cook some fish.
Eat some fish, and the dwarf isn't sure if he's alive or if the castle ruins exist. He's
being very helpful, though, and they don't know his name. He doesn't know their names.
He's like Schrodinger's dwarf at this point.
Yeah,
basically.
He just, like, is existing and feeding them, but also is like, we might all be dead. Like, I don't... He says it smells like ghosts when he gets in the castle.
What do ghosts
smells
smell
like? Ghosts. Like,
because
what do you mean it smells old?
I was like, because demons smell a particular way, but
ghosts it smells cold.
Ghosts.
But
yeah.
I get it, because these woods have been said to be haunted for hundreds of years. Like, those woods are haunted, and now you're in the middle of them with 4 strangers. Like, I might be a little put off.
I mean, I would be spooked in the woods just from, in general, American folklore.
Yes.
I'm not whistling. I'm not talking to deer.
No.
I'm not looking out in the distance.
No.
But after, some burnt fish fingers, it's story time. And the dwarf tells them that he's a messenger of Caspian the 10th, King of Narnia, long may he reign. Who's the king of the old Narnia.
Yeah, king of the old Narnians, but he's a new Narnian.
And now they are the rebellion.
Yes.
Dun, dun, dun,
and then all the kids kind of get confused because because he kind of is talking about it in a confusing manner.
Yeah, because
she goes, "Oh, this is worse than the War of the Roses." What is that? Do we learn about that?
War of the Roses.
Yes, like War of the Roses from the ashes of success. I just am so excited. I know that The Horse and His Boy, I think, is set in their adult time, so I'm excited for that, and I hope that maybe that's the War of the Roses that we get to learn about. But
which would make sense because I'm sure he was like writing this down as he's going
yeah,
to make sure
to bring it up later.
Yeah.
If this war goes unexplained, like, I'll be a little bit happy because I love lore like that just exists for the sake of building the world. But I also need to know. I need to know what happened.
Yeah. Well, especially because he's a new Narnian. Okay, so this is a word that my brain I always want to say telemarine. I add in that A. I know it's not there. It is a telmarine. I'm going to struggle with this, but I'm going to do my best. And this is my favorite thing that CSL and authors do, is where the character and CSL himself writing it prep you for a long story that's about to be told within the story he's already telling, and mentions that he's doing it this way because of all the interruptions from the children.
It was really good. I wish that they could have given us like one page of it though. But it might have been more annoying than we think.
Right. Well, then it brings us to chapter 4.
The Dwarf Tales of Prince Caspian.
So, Prince Caspian lives in a castle. Fun fact.
What his name meant.
Please.
I mean, it just means white. Like, literally, Caspian means white, I guess. So it's about, like, purity and righteousness or whatever. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, he lives with his uncle and aunt, who are the king and queen. And his parents are dead. He is orphan, and he spends mostly his time with his nurse, which I'm assuming is kind of like a nanny.
Oh, yeah.
Not like specifically a nurse, who is never given a name.
No, just the nurse. Never.
She doesn't need one. Because she would tell him stories and probably, I don't know, interact with him as a child, whereas his uncle would just like scoop him up, about twice a week to tell him, give him the everything the light touches speech, because he doesn't have any kids. And like, Caspian makes the mistake of telling his uncle that he doesn't want to be king because he'd rather live in like the old Narnia that he's been told about. Uncle freaks out and then like jump in at any point if I'm going too far. But,
I mean, we don't even. I was gonna go back and tell everybody what the uncle's name is.
Oh, well, yeah.
And his wife's name, who has the craziest name, which that's another one I didn't look up.
I was not going to struggle with that one, but essentially I was just going to say he tells his uncle, and his uncle is upset that he's been told these stories about the old Narnia by his nurse and sends her away. His uncle is Jason Mraz.
Yeah, his uncle is Jason Mraz, the ruling king.
And his uncle's got the rhythm, the melody, the bebop, fidelity, the scuba-doo-bop, bebop, fedora hat, and Colby Calais.
And the queen's name, the queen of Narnia, is named Pruna Prismia, which I looked up just now, and it says it's likely an allusion to the phrase prunes and prisms, which indicates very proper speech or manners. So she's just like super proper.
It sounds like a spell.
Yeah, it really does.
Pruna Primsia!
What does it do? Make you shit?
It makes you shit flowers.
Oh my god. But does your book have a map? Because my book has a map here with the wildlands of the north, and it has, yes, Miraz's castle is right by where the Beaver's Dam was from the old story. The castle's right on the edge of the forest where like they first came in the Lantern Waste, so it's very like aren't those woods haunted? Just the woods over by Cair Paravel are haunted? I don't understand.
You would think so, but I don't know. His uncle is just like one of those weird dudes where he sends the nurse away without letting him say goodbye to her.
Yeah, she's just gone one day.
And tells him that like,
stop asking about that. Don't think.
Or it's like, these conversations are for grown-ups. Like, it's very, like, cause at this point I was like, okay, well, how old is he really at this point? If he still has a nanny and he's being told all these things, because his uncle does replace the nurse with a tutor. Okay, but then it's like, okay, so how old would he be at that point? Like 8?
Well, I don't think the tutor teaches him for very long. So I think that by the time the nurse leaves and he's replaced with a tutor, is maybe maybe a year before,
So
but I think it's probably only maybe a year before, you know, we see him. And he's the same age as Peter, or about the same age as Peter. So he might have been 12 with the nurse, and then
okay, yeah,
13 to 14 or whatever
that's what.
with the
Okay,
tutor.
that's what I was thinking. Because
Which kind of makes sense to go from, more nanny energy to more tutor, which is, he's great. Cornelius is his
yeah,
name.
but the part that broke my heart is before he gets. I mean, yes, Dr.
Yeah,
Cornelius
is great.
is amazing. Before he meets Dr. Cornelius, once he realizes the nurse is gone, he's trying to dream of Narnia, and in his dreams, the animals won't talk to him anymore, and he can't talk to them, and it breaks
So
my heart. It's Kiki's broken broom. It's just it's excruciating, but like the nice thing is that Dr. Cornelius, in all his descriptions, is ultimately described as impossible not to like.
yeah,
And he does have a lot to teach him, but like he tells Caspian that the royal family that he's a part of conquered Narnia.
he knows the real history. He
Oh
knows
yeah,
some real shit.
yeah. Like they came in like Telmarines from the land of Telmar, far beyond the Western Mountains, and like they came to Narnia, and there weren't a lot of. They're like there were no men or very few men, so they just took over the land. But like
They've only been here for 10 generations.
yeah, and he's like suspiciously implying that the fight was fought by things other than men, but like
Yeah, Caspian's like, well, if there was nobody here, then how did they conquer it? And he's like, I said there was no men here.
top men.
Yeah.
But like yeah, then he's like Dr. Cornelius is like don't like people. This is why people get sent away.
Yeah. I
Don't
really
push
thought
me.
like, I was really like, well, they killed her. That's what I was thinking this
Yeah.
whole time. I'm like, she's dead. She got sent away in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm.
She's not alive.
Yeah, they wrapped her up in a loaf of bread. And
But also he says,
sent her to camp.
yeah, he says they sent her away, but the king would cut his head off.
Mm-hmm.
So like, is it worse the second time? Like it makes
Yeah.
it implies that she's probably dead.
Well, she was sent away versus like okay, this person was sent away. If you do it, then But like basically, he's like shut the fuck up.
Yes.
But Caspian can kind of tell that it's like in the way that it's like maybe he's gonna tell me something
Yeah,
else
maybe he's
later.
gonna tell me some more stuff.
Like not here, girl.
Yeah, not here, not now, but
Girl,
maybe
not
later.
here.
But yeah, Caspian the First conquers Narnia in the Narnian year of 1998.
Okay. Good year.
And people have correlating timelines online, but
The same year Harry Potter.
yeah, but not 1998 in our world. It's
I
like
know,
the
I
year
know.
3000. No, it's not.
Yeah.
But like it's the year whatever. I don't know. That's the thing is like people try to correlate them, but they don't go together. But the Pevensies arrived the first time in the year 1000. And they disappeared in the year 1015. They only had their golden generation or golden era was only 15 years before they disappeared. And then 900 years later is when Narnia is conquered by the Telmarines. So there was lots and long peace. Not to justify it, but it's not like they came in right after the Pevensies or anything. It's crazy.
Which I have some opinions about the Telmarines that are...
Yeah, we find out a little bit more about their origins near the end of the book.
Yeah, I feel like he likes to save that stuff for the end because he's going to bring it up for us later in other stories. And I'm excited to get into it. But the cool thing about him shutting down this conversation with... I almost said Shasta, which is the name of the character from... Oh my god, okay. The cool thing about his conversation with Prince Caspian is that he does tell him that there's a cool astrological event happening in like a few days. And it's like... it's the first time it's happened in over 200 years. Yeah.
The two planets, Tarva and Alambil, will be passing within 1 degree of each other. So it's not like a eclipse. But
are those real planets? Did you look?
No, they're not real planets. Tarva is called by Narnians the Lord of Victory. It was a planet visible in the Narnian sky.
I was wondering if like maybe he got the names from like moons of like, Jupiter's got like what, 26, 27,
Yeah.
8 moons.
And Alambel called the Lady of Peace. This conjunction approximately 200 years earlier. Yeah.
Interesting.
This calls it, I think this says the year 2303, which I feel is 200 years after now. So this may have spoiled us a little bit. We may be seeing this.
No, that sounds like a Frey lyric. 200 years after now.
We might see this same two planets again, which is really cool because Prince Caspian sees it and it's like, you're only going to see this once in your lifetime. But us as the readers.
Yeah, that would be really cool to see if that comes up again.
Right.
But he says, yeah, it's going to be happening at some point, and that, he'll wake him up at dead night, which I assume is probably like 2, 3 a.m. ish, and that he'll, he should go to bed early that night, which is like, okay, cool. Why don't you tell me on the actual night? But then we smash cut. There's a lot of smash cuts in this one. We smash cut to Prince Caspian being awoken in the night. And then he's taken to a room where he's given his robe and slippies, and then led through moonlit corridors, passages, up several staircases, all while making zero noise. They're both being very quiet. And then they exit through a small door in a turret. Do you know what a turret is?
It's like the tower, the top of the tower.
Perfect. That's kind of what I thought. I didn't look it up.
I mean, I didn't look it up either, but that's,
the
turrets are the little spiry tower pieces.
Just like things that I can bank on you knowing, or like things that I'll do or I'll know you do. I love and appreciate you. But from there they come out upon the leads with the battlements on one side, a steep roof on the other, the shadowy castle garden shimmering below them with the moon and stars above. And then they go through another small door that Dr. Cornelius has the key for, which leads them to the great central tower of the whole castle with a steep-ass winding staircase that Prince Caspian has never been allowed on before. And they make it to the roof, panting. Well, Prince Caspian is panting. And there's just, Tripfinder says breathtaking views. And it's just so clear and beautiful. They can see the Western Mountains in the distance, the gleam of the great river, and it's so quiet that they can hear the waterfall at the Beaver's Dam because it's only a mile away. So this is when I was like, okay, so are they at the White Witch's castle?
Oh.
And that's why I was like earlier, because I knew that it was coming up. But
I didn't even think about that at all. But that's what they do say, that it's about a mile away from the Beaver's Dam.
Exactly. I think this theory is debunked later, but at this point I was like, that would make sense showing up here. And they're like, look at this castle. But like, basically the two stars that they're going to watch, interact with each other are really obvious. And Prince Caspian is worried if they're going to collide with each other. And Dr. Cornelius whispers and says, "Nay, dear prince, the great lords of the upper sky know the steps of their dance too well for that. Look well upon them. Their meeting is fortune and means some great good for the sad realm of Narnia."
And he's going to tell him a little bit more after that. After they see the thing, he's like, okay, you've seen it and you're never going to see it again. Wasn't that cool? All right, now
well, no, and then he's like, couldn't we have seen this better, because there's a tree cover
from a different tower.
And then he's like, oh, I brought you up here for reasons other than stargazing. I actually wrote dun dun dun. So tell us, Wyatt, why did he bring him up there?
I mean, I don't have the full quotes of that reveal. But he tells him the truth of how the Telmarines conquered the land, and they silenced the talking beasts and rid the forests of the sight of the dryads and the naiads. They somehow put them to sleep, probably by chopping down trees and doing the colonialist things.
Mm-hmm.
And
when we find out that Dr. Cornelius, who is described as quite small at the beginning, he
is half dwarf, baby. Because he says,
classic conqueror energy.
Caspian's like, oh, well, like, that's so awful. Like, I didn't know. Like, I wish the animals could talk again, and I wish, we could see these types of creatures. And Cornelius says, "Many of your race wish that in secret." And Caspian's like, "Why do you say my race? After all, I suppose you're a Telmarine, too." "Am I?" said the doctor. "Well, you're a man anyway," said Caspian. "Am I?" Oh my god! So good.
Oh wait, does that count as a queer character?
Yeah, he said, "Am I?" repeated the doctor in a deeper voice. Oh, he just like it's
Marco.
Loki, a better reveal than fucking Aslan coming back from the dead.
Am I alive?
The double am I?
Am I blind?
It's dramatic as fuck. It's so good. He takes off his hood. He's a dwarf.
So, but he finds out that the king has forbidden anyone from speaking about Narnia and covers up any memory of them. And while he's finding out, he's part dwarf, and like that's why he knows about Narnia. But like the castle, which it's not the White Witch's castle. It was made by his Prince Caspian's great grandfather.
Oh, okay.
And then he tells Caspian of the ruins of tells that the ruins of Cair Paravel vanished, but is believed to be far from there at the mouth of the great river. And all the stories of the ghosts were invented to create fear and prevent the history of old Narnia from being preserved. So the guy who's telling the story knows that the ghosts aren't real. Maybe he didn't pay attention.
I don't believe in ghosts.
Yeah,
but
Dr.
then
Cornelius
he goes back and is quote telling them that there are no ghosts. So he would know that there are no ghosts. So he would know that they're not ghosts.
Mm-hmm. And like Prince Caspian obviously wants to know more, but then Dr. Cornelius is aware that someone's looking for them.
It's the end of the lesson. Like, it's been too long.
He's like, oh no, this sounds like an appropriate time to wrap up this chapter.
Exactly. Literally, like the thing happened in the night sky. Like, we can't just sit up here chit-chatting in the night. Like, that's not what this is. And yeah, we go to the next chapter. Chapter 5. Caspian's Adventure in the Mountains. Which sounds so fun. It's not really that fun.
No.
But he learns so many things from Cornelius. Like, Cornelius teaches him about everything, and it's
This
so
is just
cool.
bump.
Yeah,
like realizes why he doesn't like his aunt.
Oh, yeah.
And like then you do a smash cut to like his aunt who's been sick this whole time. When it turns out she is not sick, she's been pregnant.
Dun, 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 dun. Well, Caspian doesn't find that out because he's a stupid, non-observant boy, just like most protagonists you meet.
And and also he's probably been kept from anything like that.
Well, he's doing all this shit. He learned sword fighting and riding, swimming and diving, how to shoot with the bow and play on the recorder and the fjordbow, how to hunt the stag and cut him up when he was dead, besides cosmography, rhetoric, heraldry, versification, and of course history with a little law, physics, alchemy, and astronomy. And he was even learning magical theory, because Dr. Cornelius said the practical part was not for proper study for princes.
So
yeah, and they had a whole bunch. They had many more secret conversations up at the tower during these many different types of lessons that he was learning. Like, the only thing he wasn't taught was navigation and how to sail, because his uncle hates ships / has spread lies about things at the ocean so that people don't go to the ocean, so people don't learn about old Narnia.
But what if there's a line at the sea that calls him?
Exactly.
A line where the sky meets the sea.
And it calls him.
But his uncle doesn't know
how far he'll go.
I mean, there's just no telling, I guess. Let's keep going. But
he does. Yeah, he learns a lot by just listening.
Mm-hmm. And okay, so yeah, I think that's why I just skipped ahead to like I was smash cutting to his aunt being sick, and then Dr. Cornelius is like, "You're in danger, girl. Like you."
You do not understand.
Yeah, like I've packed up your horse. It's waiting for you. You need to leave the castle and seek your fortune in the wild world.
And Caspian is very confused. He's like, "What do you mean I'm in danger?" And that's when Cornelius explains that after Caspian's mother died, Miraz, who he was made Lord Protector, at the time, he had all of Caspian's father's friends, basically all the people that worked with him, killed. and then he claimed to be the king of Narnia. He got some dudes shot while they were hunting. A whole house was sent to fight some giants that they knew they wouldn't win. A dozen more he had executed for treason. 2 brothers, and this is where we learn that Beaver's Dam is actually a town now called Beaver's Dam. He had people convinced that these 2 people were crazy, and he convinced the 7 noble lords of the king to sail to the eastern seas for new lands to expand Telmar. And, of course they did, because that's what their, quote, king or lord protector told them to do, and none of them ever came back. So there was no one to question how he became king. And
But Prince Caspian now knows that he's the true king of Narnia, the true son and the heir of Caspian the Ninth.
Yeah.
Which is a heavy thing to find out all at once. And
and he also finds out that he killed Caspian's father in the first place. Like, it's one after another after another. It's like he killed everybody, or got everybody killed that that could have vouched for you being the king, and he was gonna let you take it because he had literally no other choice. But
and now, an only child, Rachel Berry, you have a cousin who could be a companion, but you don't get to meet him because he is now going to be king.
He's competition. He's your king.
But also, I'm just like, okay, but if Mraz has manipulated the system thus far, I don't see a reason why he couldn't keep Caspian alive, because he's just like, well, he's my nephew, I adopted him, but I'm the rightful king.
But if Caspian ever wanted to make a claim for the throne, or say I'm the rightful king,
kill him then.
Yeah, because he'd be able to. But
He might at the Loves from the Boy do not condone killing. We are Team Susan all the way.
Team Susan.
Actually,
we're
Team
Susan.
Lucy.
Oh yeah, Lucy's saving people. But speaking of Susan,
are we speaking of Susan?
Well, very shortly, Caspian gives Susan's horn to. Not Caspian. Cornelius gives Caspian Susan's horn. And when he's like, you need to get out of here, he says, here, take this. And he gives him Susan's horn. And he said, this is Queen Susan's horn, forlorn horn. Horn found in the Lantern Waste. So it was found where they dropped it. And he said, it's said to bring help for those who blow it, even though nobody has, so I don't really understand how they know that it's supposed to call for help.
I mean, it's maybe folklore.
Yeah. But he even says that it might bring the 4 royals back from the past. He really has a lot. He's giving Dumbledore. He really knows a lot more than you would expect him to know.
Yeah.
But guess what? His name means Cornelius. Dutch, German, Danish, and Southern English, from the Latin personal name Cornelius, originally an old Roman surname, probably derived from cornu, meaning horn. And he's the one to deliver the horn to Caspian. I was so glad I looked that one up.
Corn brings the horn. But yeah, he tells him he's only use it in his greatest time of need. Which is
it's hard because later on,
I mean, everything feels like an emergency.
Yeah, so. Later on, Caspian's like, well, what if I need it later? And someone's like, well, by that logic, you would never use it. So Cornelius telling him this is kind of
important. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of important, but also kind of working against him, because now he's waiting for the most important moment to blow it instead of it's getting rough. We might need some help. It's I'm about to die. Maybe.
But he's like, yeah, you gotta go, girl. And
he's like, I need my horse. We have to go get my horse. He's like, the horse is ready.
Locked, loaded, clocked,
ready
mixtape,
to go.
Snacks. Let's go. And he goes and he rides until daylight.
Yeah, he literally rides, and then only then he starts to feel the weight of the solo journey. Once the sun starts coming up and it's a new day and the adrenaline has fully worn off, he's like, fuck, I just rode 8 hours in a straight line away from the only place I've ever known,
not knowing where I'm going,
with no plan.
Yeah,
it's just him and his horse,
Destrier.
Huh?
Him and his horse and his horn.
Horse and his horn. The horse and his horn.
Horse and his horn.
Well, I guess we know the episode title.
Am I the horn?
And his horn.
Yeah, I'm the horn.
But the horse's name, Destrier, or Destrier. I looked that one up too, just because it seemed like it might be one of those names that's just a Narnia name and not a real thing. But it's actually a real word. It's found in medieval Provençal as Destrier and Italian. These forms mean right-sided horse, from dextra, meaning right hand, the same root as dexterous and dexterity. So it's literally like my right hand, my horse. Destrier is like, that's my right hand.
That's
so
cute.
It's kind of a cute name, but also kind of lazy. Well, and also here, the destrier, or medieval war horse, was central to the tactical viability of European feudalism, blah, blah, blah. So they're saying that like it's like a type of horse, almost like a Clydesdale.
Oh, okay.
So then naming it that is a little lazy.
So it's like name your horse Black Beauty, basically.
Yeah. But this was also, he doesn't know that. No. So
I mean, I'm not sure he's super creative, but I mean, basically he rides until it's daylight, he takes a rest, and then it starts raining. And the weather becomes terrible, so he's like, okay, well, I guess I gotta keep moving.
Going. He feels like nature's working against him. The trees feel menacing to him.
Mm-hmm. And thunder's like following him until
But he doesn't really blame it either. He literally thinks like, well,
Yeah.
I am a Telmarine. Like, this isn't where I'm supposed to be. This is not my land.
And then he's hit in the head with something, and then he knew no more, which I guess he just ran into a tree branch. But, you know, fair enough.
Right, because it says that his horse got spooked by the thunder, and it's just like running, and it's dark, and there's flashes, and then
hits his head, blackout, and then he wakes up to voices.
And they're talking about how they should have killed him a while ago.
And that's always a fun thing to wake up to.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to decide if he's a traitor and, you know, and figure out what's going on. And, like, you know, he tells them that he's a king, and so they want to kill him again. And, you know, they're basically just trying to figure it out. They also mention queer things, so I'm going to give us another...
Oh, there was one back there where I noted that Caspian felt queer as well.
That's 5 for the queer counter.
Back up in the tower.
Oh, yes.
I'm gonna crack a cold one real quick before we meet our new friends.
So he wakes up to hearing different voices talking about him. A badger named Truffle Hunter, and 2 dwarfs, Nickabrick and Trumpkin, and trying to decide if they should kill him. And basically they end up being convinced, because Truffle Hunter believes that Caspian is the king. So the badger convinces the 2 dwarfs that he should stay, and so he stays. Yeah,
Truffle Hunter's like, the dwarves forget just as easily as the humans forget, but the animals never
forgets.
The beasts know, and he knows that Narnia was never better than when it was ruled by the son of Adam. And I'm like, well, that was kind of just happenstance. Like, they just defeated the witch, and so then it was really great because there was no witch. Yeah. It wasn't necessarily that they were great kings and queens.
The house killed the witch, not Dorothy. Don't get twisted.
But he says, you know, it's not men's country, but a country ruled by men. And maybe it would even make more sense now, because there are more humans in the rest of that planet, that they would be able to converse more expeditiously with other humans than having to explain everything. If they haven't seen a talking badger before, you might not want to trade 5 fish for 5 gold bars.
That's fair. Well, I also believe that no country belongs to men.
Correct.
But men will, humans will rule it. Mm-hmm. I guess men will try to...
Yeah.
You think you own whatever land you land on. But that brings us to the end of chapter 5.
Yeah, he gets to stay. So that's cool.
Caspian can stay.
That's the chapter title now, baby. We're going to take a short break to thank our sponsor of the episode today. This episode is sponsored by Aslan's Apples. The greatest apples you'll ever eat, and the only thing you will eat for the rest of your life. Aslan's Apples. An apple a day is an apple every day.
This episode is sponsored by Aslan's Apples. If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Speaking of jump cuts, we are making our own jump cut into chapter 6 as they jump cut into chapter 6, which is the people that lived in hiding. Yeah, and Caspian's just having the best summer ever.
Okay, but first of all, the 3 bulgy bears, bulgy bears.
I kind of was reading it as bulgy, but I think it's bulgy, like kind of chubby, bulgy bears. But
yeah.
in my head, I was reading it like bulgogi, like.
Yeah.
So I was like,
yeah.
bulgy bears.
I was like, are they made of beef? And now I'm hungry. But like, waking up the bears. You gotta wake up the bears.
And they're like, well, we don't want to wake up. And they're like, it's time to wake up.
And then kisses.
Yeah, he gets sleepy bear kisses.
Sleepy bear hugs and kisses.
And they share their honey with him. Oh, to be someone who gets to share honey with bears.
Oh, if one could share honey with a bear.
But these 3...
So cute.
These 3 are basically like show and telling their human friend. They're like, look at this human friend. He's gonna be the king.
They're like the 3 uncles, basically.
Yeah, it's really cute.
And then we meet Patterwig, which is a...
Twig.
What?
Pretty.
I believe you. I'm just like, I'm never floored by my inability to read things correctly. Like,
let's see.
It's
chapter 6. Here we go.
You're probably correct.
Pattertwig, yes.
Yeah, wow.
Pattertwig.
I just ignored a whole letter.
That's all right. There's a lot of T's and R's and...
Pattertwig.
Like the small squirrels pattering along the twig.
Yeah. No, I think it's just the way that my dyslexia works.
Yeah.
Because I look at it now, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Truffle Hunter's so neat. He's obviously already like the right hand of Caspian. He like leans over and he's like, "Don't watch him," because Pattertwig is going to get the nut.
Well, he asks him if he wants a nut.
Yeah, and he says yes. He's nice. He says yes, and then he goes off to get it. And
I have the quote.
Yeah, you can read it.
Or do you have it?
No.
Oh, I got the quote. Well, yeah, because he goes off to get him a nut, and then he says, "Don't look. Look the other way. It's very bad manners among squirrels to watch anyone going to his store to look as if you wanted to know where it was."
Mm-hmm.
Like, so if you're at a restaurant and someone's like, "Oh, I got it," and they're reaching for their wallet, you have to like avert your gaze, like a dog not begging for a treat.
Maybe it kind of did make me. It made me think about it, about like subconscious kind of body language
know when
and
to
that
hold
type
them.
of. Mm-hmm.
They meet the 7 brothers of Shuddering Wood, which, to no one's surprise, the Shuddering Wood is a very solemn place.
Oh yeah. They do have Pattertwig spread some party invitations. They're like, "Well, you go spread the word, little man, for the party at the dancing lawn.
Get
3
the
days
gals.
from now.
The
The dancing lawn. I want a dancing lawn.
Yeah, Kiki on the dancing lawn.
Kiki on the dancing lawn.
There's a Kiki on the dancing lawn. There's a whole bunch of animals coming this summer to Dancing Lawn. All your favorite talking beasts, and maybe an appearance by the King of Lions himself, Aslan. Get your tickets now for Dancing on the Lawn Festival coming this Narnian summer.
Yeah, they go to the dwarf house of 7 brothers. And yeah, it's not so fun anymore.
No, and Trumpkin has his own private chat with the brother, who I guess is like who was the most suspicious and now is the formerly suspicious, now totally on board and convinced crew. So one dwarf convinces a couple more dwarfs, and then they get to go down a dark stairway, and there's a firelight at the bottom, and 'tis a smithy place.
Ooh, the whole place is a smithy, ain't it?
Very smithy.
Hey,
and there's 2 more dwarfs that are again convinced, and then they gift them chainmail shirts and helmets.
Yeah, they just
and
come around and they're like, "Here you go, then we're
gifts, presents,
gifts,
glamour galore."
Yeah, we've gotten honey now from the bears. He got a nut from the squirrels, and now he's getting armor and swords, and it's far better than the human stuff that he's worked with growing up. And so he's like,
yeah, and everybody's getting ready for the feast at Dancing Lawn.
Yeah, the Dancing Lawn,
which is my favorite David Bowie song.
It's my favorite venue.
And to no one's surprise, there's more dwarfs. There's more convincing talk of Aslan, and eventually the centaurs crash the party, and they decide that it's a ripe time for war. But this is
Well, I was just they make a very intense separation between the types of dwarves, which I don't really love or understand.
It's giving J.K. Rowling making up slurs for no reason.
Yeah, because the only difference in them seems to be their hair color.
Mm-hmm.
Some dwarves have red hair and some have black hair, and the red hair ones are jolly, and the other are not. And not only are they not jolly, they go to talk to those black-haired dwarves, and they're like, "Oh, well, we know an ogre or two and a hag up there on the hill, like these dark creatures that we
We
could
all
go."
have hags on the hill.
Yeah, we all. And they decline the offer, but their own dwarf with black hair, Nickabrick, is for it.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, well, you know, we need all the hands we can get," but like.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I put a weird taste in my mouth. I'm like, just because their hair color is one way, it makes them like a different type of dwarf and a different.
I make casual mentions like earlier, like they have like the weird like judgments and things like that make sense to Narnians, and like I can tell what they're trying to do with it, but like it's just unnecessary.
It's totally unnecessary. I would prefer just some dwarves are this way and some dwarves are the other way. Just like some people fucking suck and some people are cool. Guys.
Yeah. But this has been building up to my favorite character in this story.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's favorite, our good buddy. And Sheepy is an adorable little sword-donning mouse with a mustache.
He would hate that you said that. He would hate that you called him adorable.
Well, everything's...
But he is. He's so
everything's adorable when you're my size. Because, like, I'm a giant and he's a mouse.
He's
so, like...
mouse. He's a gay and martial mouse. He twirls his little whiskers like a mustache and he's such a little cutie pie.
Mm-hmm. Like, you're adorable because you're a critter. And that's just good for me.
That's just good for me.
But, like... And then, like, Prince Caspian all but kind of laughs at him because Reepicheep, like... expresses his desire to fight and advocate for Narnia, and regardless of a person's the size of their body or their strength, the size of their passion and their heart is what should be valued most, and that is a lesson I do not need to be taught by CSL. That is a lesson I don't remember how I learned.
You learn it from life.
Life.
And he meets lots of other animals.
The book of life.
Do you have a list of all the other animals and creatures he met?
You know, I'm 99.9% sure I skipped out on it, and I just wrote about what they did, not about who was there. I just referred to beasts, so lay down that list.
I just am going to read it from the book right here. It says, it would take too long to mention all the creatures whom Caspian met that day.
Uh-huh.
And then it goes on to list Clodsley, Shovel.
But if we did...
But if we did, it would be Clodsley, Shovel, the mole, the 3 hard biters, who were badgers like Truffle Hunter, Camillo the hare, and Hogglestock the hedgehog. Hogglestock. That's it, though. Just a couple.
Hogglestock.
Hogglestock. And then Trumpkin lights up his pipe.
Mm-hmm.
Hey. I like how they explain that only Trumpkin smokes.
Right.
They just like want to make sure that we all know that it's just Trumpkin smoking. It's just a little interpersonal.
The rest of them quit. So.
Yeah, they all quit a couple years ago.
But they eat, they rest, they plan, they sleep, and they dream. And then Caspian is awoken by a bright moon and a faint beating noise that gets quiet, and then the beat drops, and then there's flutes and the noises of many little flutes. And then he being Prince Caspian, watches all the creatures dancing, and he gets pulled in just like a musical. And wouldn't you just fucking know it? He knows the steps. Get your life, girl.
And then they just dance through the night.
Yeah, they danced until the end of the chapter.
I thought for a second that the fawns dancing around, and when they're talking about this music and it seemed like something was going to happen, I thought they were going to draw the spirits out of the trees with their flute magic music, but it didn't happen. But they did have a gay old time. They had a grand time dancing on the dancing lawn. Boots, house down on the dancing lawn.
Put your boots on, get your boots out. It's time feast on the lawn. Boots lawn.
And they wake up in chapter 7.
Old Narnia in danger.
Which sounds awful, and it's Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in danger.
But it starts off okay because Prince Caspian, he wakes up and he's sleeping outside, and it's like, okay, you think the adjustment would be hard going from fancy castle life, linens and things, but he realizes he loves this life, and not only like does the food taste better, he just feels better living this life. It feels right in his core, and like it's because he said it himself as a small child, like he wanted to live this way because it feels genuine to who he is. It's like when those white women go to Ibiza.
It kind of, I don't have a note about this, but it does make me think about the kids at the beginning when they wake up and they're not having it. They're not ba-da-ba-ba-ba loving it on their lawn.
But they were alone.
Yeah.
And they didn't get a dance the feast down Boots' lawn house.
Yeah, they weren't dancing all the way through the night and not waking up after a crazy ruckus. They're eating apples. But honestly, like, this group, the way that they've described them, to me feels much stronger than the group the OG kids had. But I don't think that's the case. I think that the OG 4 had a much larger army, but we just learn more of these people's names. We learn about Reepicheep and Glenstorm and Wimbleweather. We don't just get one or two. We get 4 or 5. Camilla the Hare. Like, we get all of these names for these people. Like,
yeah.
It really settles you into the army. It settles you into the group. And it makes you, what makes me anyway, feel much more attached to the outcome. Versus, of course, you're attached to the outcome when it's the kids, but when you lose people along the way, or some, griffin falls out of the sky and gets turned into stone and crumbles into a million pieces, you're not like, oh my god, Camillo! Like, right. It's just...
Yeah. Oh, I have to sneeze, sorry. I think also, because, for those of us who have been lucky enough to read the entirety of the series already, like the awakening the consciousness of the Narnian animals, creatures, there weren't always animals that spoke. There were both kinds of animals, and especially like where they are now, like in the Telemarine area, like, see, there it is.
Telenovela area.
In the telenovela area, they have animals and creatures that are just, domesticated like they are in our world. Right. But I did actually make a list of all the creatures that have gathered for the council.
Give it to me.
We got bulgy bears, red dwarfs, we got black dwarfs, we got moles, we got badgers, hares, hedgehogs, and new guys, 5 satyrs. Damn it. Satyrs. We got 5 satyrs, as red as foxes, a whole contingent of talking mice, armed to the teeth, following a shrill trumpet. Owls. The Raven of Ravenscour. Ravenscour?
The Raven.
Lest we forget Wimbleweather, a giant of Dead Men's Hill, who is also carrying a basket full of dwarfs who are very nauseous because they hitched a ride on our unsteady friend. So all these guys have gathered, and of course, everybody wants to do something different. Bears want to eat first. The mice just want to go fight. The squirrels want to multitask. The moles want to dig. Fawns want to dance. Raven wants to actually address the whole company, but then is shut down by Caspian, which is kind of ironic because in them saying they wanted to address the whole company, they could have just said what they wanted to say instead of wasting their time saying they wanted to say something.
Can I ask you a question?
No. But yeah, basically, I guess it's Caspian, the centaurs, and the dwarfs. Like, no, we need to have council now. Yeah. That's the most important thing. And, like, fair enough. But they said in a circle. They said in a circle. And then Caspian stands and, like, is about to speak, but he's hushed by a hare, Camillo.
And, we all know Camillo now.
Because there's a man somewhere.
Or maybe not a man, but someone is approaching.
Something smelling like a man, but not like a man. But it turns out
Cornelius!
Dr. Cornelius shows up, when we need him.
Super convenient. If I was more suspicious, I would be very suspicious of him because right before their war council, he's just gonna show up with information.
I mean, I would have showed up for the party.
Yeah, exactly. What about the dancing lawn, Cornelius?
It's a king on a dancing lawn. There's a whole
King
bunch of
on the
animals. Well, essentially, like, he escapes, and
Yeah.
because Prince Caspian is not a seasoned escapist, he's able to track him really easily, and he's just like, so if I could find you that easily, you're definitely going to be found by everybody else.
Well, also he's talking about the company that Caspian brings, because the dwarves give Cornelius shit because they don't like him because he's half human, half dwarf, and then he's like, well, the company that you're with don't know how to cover their tracks because I was able to track you here pretty fucking easily. So you know that Miraz is gonna be here tomorrow. But he brings word that the horse actually betrayed.
Damn it, that's
Caspian.
right.
Yeah.
I did write that down.
And I was like, oh, the horse can talk? But no, just
Dumb.
the fact that the horse ran back to the stable,
Alerted them, yeah.
that Caspian ran. And he only got a couple hours. He got, 6-8 hours in. And so then maybe 8-9 hours. So within 24 hours, they know that
by
he's
midday
gone, and he's gone intentionally.
Midday tomorrow.
Yeah. If the horse was still out, maybe he went on an adventure. There's a little bit of doubt to be had, but
yeah, he's basically like, you have maybe a day, a little over a day at this point, depending on what time it is, and like
you have to decide now.
Mm-hmm. And then he gets distracted because he's kind of slightly rude to the mice, and then he introduces himself, and it's very polite and actually kind of sweet. And then they decide that they need to battle. I also wrote down this quote that I like: "Those who run first do not always run last."
I have that one too. Great line from Glenn Storm, the centaur.
Mm-hmm.
And they do run a little bit. They run to fight. They run to Aslan's How, where the stone table used to be, I think. I mean, I know now, but at this point I wasn't sure. But Aslan's How is where the stone table was.
Mm-hmm.
And
soup and celery.
then they, gosh, that's what, Trumpkin?
Yeah.
Trumpkin's got the greatest little
I wrote down a lot
one-liners
of
in
them.
there. Me too. And then they just like get there.
Yeah.
This is what they do a lot of. They do a lot of walking in this book, but sometimes they do just get there. There's also lots of jump cuts.
Or they left a half hour later and got there by sunrise. So that's like the whole day they cut through.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it's, what is it, like a round green hill on top of another hill growing over with trees and one little low doorway leading into it.
Yeah, they call it the mound a lot. It's just this big hill. Like kind of like a hobbit hole, but much grander.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. And there's
and
got
then
like
a small hobbit-sized regular door, though.
for the small, yeah, and it's got tunnels inside with a maze lined with smooth stones and strange characters and sneaky patterns and lions that seem to be seem to belong to even older Narnia than the Narnia which the nurse had told him being Prince Caspian. Yes. But then, of course, fate has to turn against them, and Uncle Jason Mraz shows up with his army.
Basically, immediately.
Not lucky. And they're on the edge of the woods, but his army is pretty spooked because of all the stories that have been beaten to their heads.
They're in the cursed woods, and now here they are fighting these creatures that
they
weren't really sure existed, but were scared. And there's no like. The battle just starts. Like they just say that they start battling, and they battle for days and nights. And during one fight, the giant Wimbleweather, he messed up because he was supposed to like kind of ambush or whatever, and he just popped out at the wrong time, and people got hurt. And
days of fighting. They don't really rain. And
days
cold.
Of fighting and rain and wars, and this one really battle. It's kind of like maybe if they won this battle, they would have won the whole thing right then.
Yeah.
But Wimbleweather messed up.
But then we got our smaller council of the guys, which is King Caspian. And Dr. Cornelius, Badger, Nickabrick, and Trumpkin.
Yeah, Trumpkin.
And like they're in the heart of Aslan's How, which is, they said it's like a roof supported by ancient workmanship, crafting thick pillars with the split stone table in the center, and they're sitting on logs that's like a little ways away from the stone table because like it's
The stone table is like, it's
yeah,
powerful. At first, I thought they were on the stone table. I was like, are you fucking serious right now?
On it.
And then, two sentences later, they're like, no, we weren't at the table. It made me think of, and some of these kids out here might not know what I'm talking about, but when you would put your hand up to the TV and you feel the static from the TV, like that little force field, I feel like it's like that, but on a much larger scale. Like, they just kind of walk toward it and you can just feel it, like...
I think it's like that celestial tone thing, like how people used to bring bells into battle because of the tones that they would play. Basically, this is the first time when someone is like, hey, king, hey, king, and it's Truffle Hunter telling him that he should use the horn, and Caspian's not sure, and they're kind of like, okay, we'll use it or lose it. But
this is that moment I talked about, where he's like, well, I was told to wait until the most important moment, and they're like, well, we just lost that fucking battle out there,
right? But like they don't know what sort of help or who it'll call to help them, or where it's supposed to help, or like what even like supposed help will show up. Like, is it Aslan? Is it past King Pete?
Is it just help?
Do they show up at the Lantern Waste, the Beaver Dam? Is it Colonel Mustard in the parlor with a knife? And so they send 2 messengers in different directions, which is Patter Twig, the squirrel, because he's the fastest and least distracted, to the Lantern Waste. And then obviously Trumpkin, because he's the one telling the story, goes to the river mouth. But then we can again cut to Prince Caspian, because the decision is made that they're going to send the messengers, and when they go out at that sunrise, they're going to blow the horn.
Yes.
And then... yeah, they cut to Caspian blowing the horn at sunrise, and that's that on that.
That's that. Hey, it's me, Wyatt the Boy. We're just going to call the episode here, right around the hour mark, to leave room for our next episode. Instead of having a 4-hour-long one episode, we're going to have some nice consistency throughout. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode of The Lobster and His Boy, reading Prince Caspian. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can reach out to us at lobsterandhisboy@gmail.com, or on Instagram or TikTok. I think those are the only 2 we've got right now, at, again, Lobster and His Boy, and both of those have no capitals, no spaces, and no special characters. Alright, we'll not see you, but we will also not hear you, but you will hear us in 2 weeks. Okay, bye!